Welcome to the Dugout. We're slightly late, but that's not because we were having fun or eating our snacks or playing a game of badminton or anything like that. Basically, we had other offerings for you, which may have just finished now, because that was a developing story. So we thought, let's put that video out. So I'm sure you must have seen it, or if you haven't, checked that out about the different narratives that you're hearing as to what the real story of India-Pakistan is. Today's Dugout also, we're going to be touching upon that subject, and that's a no-brainer because that is the biggest talking point in international cricket at the moment. Will they, won't they play that game? Before I throw it open for discussion, debate, must give you some insights. Right now, which I was sharing with my colleagues here as well, that right now, a flight ticket from Delhi to Colombo, Air India flight economy class is 1,50,000. 1,50,000, which normal times is anywhere between 25 to 30,000. Return ticket economy, Colombo to Delhi, that's the going rate. Right now it is at 1,50,000, which is even more expensive. I think you'll get a business class ticket also 1,20,000 or something in normal times for a Sri Lanka Colombo trip. Yeah, somewhere around that you'll get. And now it's even more expensive than a business class ticket for economy. That, as I was just telling them, for those of you who want to go or are planning to go, my only advice is,
could be leisure or cricket.
Go for holiday or cricket. But if you are serious about it, book your ticket now, because in case the decision comes in an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 6 hour, 10 hour, wherever, you can imagine where the prices are going to go.
It reminds me of the time the Coldplay concert tickets had gone live. I was one of those who had to overpay eventually because mine was a last minute thing. But yeah, last minute flights to Ahmedabad for 40 grand. Which 40, is usually
40, yeah, I know, 10,000.
8,000, 10,000 is a return trip from Delhi to Ahmedabad.
But
40, 44.
See, for 40,000, still anyone can think of.
No, but then you're talking about multiples.
No, I agree. So that's 4 times.
Exactly.
But I'm saying you can still think of, like, okay, I can think 40,000. I may still be willing to pay if I'm a huge, crazy fan. Right now, if it's at 1.5 lakh now, it will go touch 3 lakhs or so. That no matter how big a fan you are, unless you're super rich.
And you'll think twice for sure.
Yeah, if you like Pawan, our producer, then you can. One who owns land and I don't know what all he has.
Upgrades his iPhone every year.
Every year. He can afford, but not.
There's another landowner that I know who has links with Sri Lanka, but he's not around.
By the way,
his birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday, Siddharth.
Siddharth has not come today. It's his happy birthday, or birthday rather, happy or not. It's only he who can decide. But
send your wishes to him.
Yeah, do send your wishes to him. But just, coming back to the subject at hand, ticket prices are going crazy. And if a decision comes and if it is in the affirmative, then you know that those prices are, boom,
it's a bit like how, say, for instance, we'll see, betting being suspended or the odds suddenly shooting down. This ticket price is a little bit of a barometer. Suddenly it's starting to peak. Bear in mind, this is not seasonal time to be traveling to Sri Lanka. So if anyone's traveling to Sri Lanka, I can assure you they're not going for pleasure. We are going for the cricket.
But I'm saying you book your ticket, refundable one. So if the match doesn't happen, you get the refund. But in case you can't, because non-refundable are cheaper, then you've got the ticket, match is not happening, then it's not a bad place to go.
Well, it's a nice place to go.
Go and do a holiday. Don't waste that ticket, right?
Very nice place to go.
So you can do that. Anyway, that's that. Reports suggest that there's going to be a press conference later in the day. Right now, conversations are on between PCB and the Pakistan government, and whatever the decision will be communicated today. That's what we've been made to understand. So we're waiting on that. It can happen anytime. Meanwhile, just a reminder, the meeting happened yesterday between ICC representatives, the Bangladesh Cricket Board president and the PCB president. And that meeting is done. Things had been discussed. And what was discussed, what wasn't discussed is something also that we'll touch upon. But first, the big question, both Harshit and Shane can look to answer. Will they, won't they?
At this point, it seems like a case of, and I know I had said it a few days back, a lot of us had predicted, and I said, look, if it's come down to governments, it's probably not happening. But basis the developments you're seeing, I think I'm leaning now more towards a U-turn taking place than it not happening. I think it's likelier you're getting a U-turn. This much stuff isn't happening if they're not at least seriously considering
Like
it.
what percentage are you saying?
Oh, I'm leaning 60-40
60% U-turn
in
happening.
favor of a U-turn. I think
Match
some sort of
happening,
a
60%.
match is happening.
I remember I was in Shane's camp as well a couple of days back, and my understanding at that point was that just as you saw in the case of Bangladesh, when governments get involved, you've seen that with India as well. Anywhere around, once governments get involved, they usually don't like bowing down to any sort of pressure or any sort of eventuality. But in this case, the developments have been such, perhaps to do with the history of the nation as well, that U-turns have been there on and off more often.
You're ensuring we don't miss Siddharth, basically.
No, but it's factual. It's factual. Siddharth is factually right on many accounts
I think he
as well.
was, by the way, the one who kept saying
Absolutely.
U-turn will happen.
The one person in this room, I think, who continued to harp on the fact that this U-turn will happen even before Mr. Bulbul had any plans of going to
love that
Pakistan. Siddharth knew since then that this U-turn's incoming, and I would also believe that that U-turn is incoming. I'm seeing that happen now.
You also seeing it.
I'm seeing that
Shane
happen.
and you both.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Percentage?
I'm probably going 65 odd % chance now that they're making this U-turn. Otherwise, this whole drama that's playing out right now, somebody from the ICC, that too not just any random official, it's the deputy chair in Mr. Khwaja who was there at that meet, the BCB chief also flying down. So hectic parlays taking place. Definitely there is some sort of a negotiation happening from the stance that they had to begin with, which was a hard stance. Clearly Pakistan also had some sort of plans, and they haven't been as foolish as everyone thought they would be. And yeah, you're looking at that match taking place now.
Oh, it's I am siding with my two colleagues. I think even I was of the belief that the U-turn won't happen, because I thought that they had taken all eventualities into consideration and then decided that they will not play, and now nothing can be done to change their mind. But it does seem like that the U-turn is going to happen. Again, if in terms of percentage, I'll also say I think 60-40 sort of a feeling I get. See, the fact that Pakistan, and why I'm saying the U-turn will happen, the fact that Pakistan has said that we are going back to our government to consult them, the fact that they've done it means they're having second thought, right? Because that wasn't the kind of noise that was coming out of Pakistan 2 weeks ago or even a week ago. It was, no, we're not playing. End of matter. We're not playing. Done and dusted. We've informed the world. We've informed ICC. We're done and dusted. To now say that, listen, we'll speak to our government and come back, that means there's a door that's open. That much you can guarantee. That's something that certainly happened. Whether they do take that call or not, we'll have to wait and watch. That's why I'm saying 60-40. There could still be a scenario. Though I don't think it will be government's refusal that will be an issue. That 40% I'm giving basis that they are not happy with what they've got in the bargain. I think that's something that can go against, because the government thing I think is just for, it's a smoke screen just for everyone else to realize, because Mohsin Naqvi is the government. Na? When he says I'm going back to the government, he knows pretty much what you have to do, but all he wants to do is take his time, think it over. Have we got enough? If we've got enough, okay, we'll play. No, I think we could have gotten more. This is not good enough. So, no, we're not playing. That's what. But I think the fact that they are thinking about it is indicating to a U-turn. So I go back to what we had started. If you're planning to buy your ticket, buy it now. There's a good chance that that game might happen. But to that, I will also add, now, as soon as that U-turn happens, people are going to say, see, under pressure, Pakistan is cracked, given up. I'm not sure that would be the case. I'm sure that they will only do a U-turn when they have gotten their pound of the flesh, something that they desire, something that they want. It cannot be a scenario that every demand that they've put forward, ICC has rejected them, and yet they're doing a U-turn. Clearly, they see again. I think where the situation is at the moment, it is like, you want the other person to convince you. You are sitting upset, both parties. Now I will include ICC. Both parties are like behaving that no, we don't want to. But somewhere they are very keen. Yeah, you say something, na. I'm upset with you, but say something to manao me. Now just say something, and I'm ready. I just want that. That's all I want. I want a reason to agree to you. And I'm saying both parties, because see, the truth be told, because it's a story of narrative. Now everyone will say narrative, this, and people in India, right now people in India, and if you were to hear Indian media and people in India, it is all about Pakistan, if the decision comes, or even if they're thinking about decision, Pakistan's gotten scared. They are on their knees. This is it. See, they realize they cannot do anything. They were cornered and they are going to be played. Now, if you look at it from Pakistan's point of view, they are all ICC. They've come on their knees to Lahore to meet us. They realize without us, your cricket World Cup is nothing. It is dead. See the power of Pakistan. So this is what I'm seeing that is happening. It depends, glass half full, glass half empty sort of story that is happening. But the truth is that somewhere down the line, both parties, that includes Pakistan and that includes ICC, desperately want this to work out, because both are going to end up losing a lot. That is the reality. ICC also have sent people there. Na? If they were like totally not interested, or as many are saying, bhaad mein jao, they didn't need to send people there at all. They would have said, bhaad mein jao, you're not coming, off you go, like they did with Bangladesh to an extent. Even with Bangladesh, by the way, they tried their level best. When travel they tried to convince, it didn't happen. They said, but the thing is, they were keen that Bangladesh participate. They didn't listen, so they cancelled. That could be the same case with Pakistan, that they are going to say, okay, what is it that we can do? We can help you out, but maybe unreasonable demand, sorry, we can't. And ICC says we can't, and then they can kick Pakistan out also. It is possible. But even ICC traveling there shows you they are keen that some solution should come out. The fact that Pakistan is saying, let us go back to the government and come back, also shows you that they also want to play. Both parties want to play, but it's an issue of face saving. Both want to say that, see, we stuck to our guns, we haven't compromised. And that is when the decision is taken, we'll get to know exactly what the detail is.
It reminds me a bit of what happened in the build-up to the Champions Trophy. Again, this similar narrative shaping was taking place on the Pakistan side of things. It was, we won't bow down. The Champions Trophy will happen entirely in Pakistan. And on the Indian side, there was that full confidence that, no, you will get the hybrid model. India won't need to travel to Pakistan. Yeah. Naturally, then, when the announcement came, we celebrated, saying that, no, look, eventually what we wanted happened. We don't need to travel. What tends to get forgotten in the midst of all of that is that Pakistan very cleverly said that even we won't travel to India. That was them getting what it is they wanted. So in the midst of all of that, they also got their pound of flesh, then agreed to this entire thing. Similar is going to happen here. Obviously, as we said, that you're seeing both sides of the spectrum kind of making the noise that you'd expect them to make. I don't think Pakistan are buying down without getting something they want.
Yeah.
What is that something? We don't know yet. But they'll definitely be getting something in return. There has to be a sweetener. Okay. Otherwise,
because he's saying that we don't know what it is. Let me just show it to our viewers. What is it that is being claimed now? Okay. Yeah. So I read various Indian media outlets which have said these things. These are just broad points. They have said, Indian media has said that Pakistan is saying increase our revenue. Okay, whatever we get from ICC, increase it. 2, tell India to play bilateral cricket with us. 3, no handshake business, shake hands. This is what Indian media says Pakistan is asking for. Pakistan media is saying, we have not asked for anything like this. We don't care about bilateral, we don't care about handshake. We don't want to play bilateral. Pakistan doesn't want to play bilateral with it. They don't want to do handshake. Again, this is a claim by Pakistani media. So what are they claiming that Pakistan is asking? They are saying that Pakistan has asked that all 2031 World Cup matches, because India and Bangladesh are co-hosts, this hybrid arrangement is only till 2026. So let this continue. Guarantee that Pakistan will be allowed hybrid to play in Bangladesh. Right. Secondly, give Bangladesh the share of this. Don't penalize Bangladesh because there was a threat you could penalize. They've walked out of this World Cup. Don't penalize. In fact, give them their share of ICC revenue that will be generated from this World Cup. Don't keep that away from them. Guarantee them. And third, India-Bangladesh bilateral series, which has been suspended for more than a year now, it hasn't happened. And give us a time and ensure that series happens. Right?
That series, by the way, Bangladesh outlets, media outlets have claimed that series is on.
Yes. In fact, BCCI had also said that we'll play the series. But I think what they're asking for is give it to us in writing, guarantee that when are you going to be traveling.
Closely seeing this, so right ahead of right ahead of the drama that began. So this was the first week of January when this whole drama began. Just around that time, a week before that, you had Bangladesh outlets claim that the tour is announced. Australia touring is first. Then there is India that's coming around the month of August. On the contrary, I've not seen any confirmation come from anywhere here in India. Nothing that I've heard, because this was, remember, also the time when you were hearing about atrocities against minorities in Bangladesh.
That is true. I mean, at this point in time, because you remember even last year it was similar. There was constant talk about the series happening because it had been confirmed. But once the political upheaval started quietly, the series got pushed forward another year. And I don't know if that will happen now again, but...
Just looking at the demand, since our family members have also taken a look at it, very contrasting.
There's one more demand, sorry, I forgot to mention that, which I could not put it down. Again, what Pakistan media is claiming, the one demand that they have over and above this is that they have asked ICC put a law in place or a clause in place that if a government tells a country that you cannot be traveling, then they should be excused. Just as India was excused, just as Pakistan were excused, if Bangladesh also said they need to...
Excused and be allowed hybrid.
Yes, or not allowed to play or whatever, but put it in writing. You can't like go for vote every time for one country, it will be allowed. This is what Pakistan media is claiming.
Yeah.
In terms of all the claims. I just want to put those things up.
So that fourth claim is in itself also interesting, because I'm not sure, and again, this is just a personal opinion, how that is possibly going to be enforceable in any way, shape or form. Because you're really opening a Pandora's box, hypothetically speaking.
See, I may have to leave in another 7-8 minutes. You guys can of course carry on, but just quickly want to point out that these are the two narratives that we've heard from both sides, right? Which one do you think seems to be more accurate?
It's very contrasting to begin with. Very, very contrasting. So which is where I'm doubting where we're headed with this story, or what really is happening on the ground. Either we're too far away from what's happening, or because see, both these things can't be happening simultaneously. So truth's being lost somewhere, definitely. This is what the stark contrast that I see in this graphic. Stark contrast. There's no converging point. Two demands very opposite to each other.
The one thing that can happen is that maybe all of these demands have been made. Okay, I'm just giving you different scenarios. Maybe all of these demands were made and some may be accepted, some may not be. So for example, I'm just saying, Indian media could report the demands that probably Pakistan made, but they were rejected. Okay, let's say those demands there, increased revenue share, bilateral handshake, these also demands Pakistan, they were rejected. So that's why Pakistan media is now not reporting that. And then the other could be Pakistan media is only reporting the demands that have been accepted.
Or under consideration.
Or under consideration. And that's why they say that we didn't ask for any of those things. We have just said this. That's what I'm saying. It's a case of glass half full, glass half empty. We don't know the exact nature of it. My only point is that on the side of the Indian media demand, I don't know whether Pakistan made those demands or not. But the fact is, if you're asking for a revenue share, that's not something ICC can tell you immediately. That will have to go on a voting. That every country will have to decide. That's one. Two, bilateral cricket, ICC has no role to play in that. How can they guarantee bilateral? It's between two countries. Three, handshake again is no rule as such. Nowhere in the world in sport that's a rule. ICC cannot guarantee that. So these demands seem outrageous. They cannot be fulfilled. There are only two things that could have happened there. One, PCB did not make these demands at all. Or two, they were foolish enough to make these demands and they got shot down as they should have been, because ICC cannot do it.
No, but this is where I feel that they can't. I expect them to be foolish at times, but not when they're on a negotiating table and not come up with something. The only thing that I find extremely objectionable is the handshake protocol to be followed. Why, after I've been insulted in public eye, not once but twice, multiple
So
times
you're
over?
saying you don't think Pakistan would have asked?
They wouldn't have. It's very ludicrous. It is very ludicrous and counterintuitive to me. Because once I've been insulted on something, I will not be wanting to shake hands in the first place.
I agree even with the second pointer. Why would you ask for bilateral cricket with India when you're talking about boycotting India matches on one side? Either then you're only being money-minded, which also explains why they're asking for an increased share. Because they know if an increased share is guaranteed, then at least they're getting more earnings from the ICC. But I can't for the life of me expect that they would go and ask the ICC to put a governance on something that it actually has no control over.
I can still believe the increased
Yeah,
share, because I'll tell you what,
ICC has
you can't be, when we look at everything that's being reported by the Pakistan media, what's in interest over there for Pakistan? Zilch. This is all bonhomie expression, and this is all being the elder brother that they're trying to be for Bangladesh. And I'm not quite sure of Pakistan wanting to just be the elder brother in this deal. They would want something, so I'm not too sure. If they're not really asking for an increased revenue share, they could very well be, because I've got to get something out of this deal as well. But how is it? I don't think Pakistan they just want to be elder brothers in this whole thing.
I have a feeling they could be. That's why I'm saying. I'll tell you why. Because see, if Pakistan starts asking for things for themselves, it then kind of exposes them to making this personal, because again, officially their stance has been no, we are only standing up for Bangladesh. You've been unfair to Bangladesh, so we're doing it unfair to Bangladesh. Now suddenly on the table, if you do it, ICC can expose them by coming out in the public and saying, see, XYZ things you're asking for. Yeah. The only thing that they can ask for, which is slightly personal, is that bit that I want all my matches in Bangladesh, because it's a continuation of what you've done to Bangladesh. So you didn't allow their government to play, and you are saying, hybrid till now, thinking that once we reach 2031, they might say, no, now you have to come and play in India. We don't want to do it. That's the one thing they can ask for themselves. The rest of the demands, in a way, I agree with you that currently the environment that is there in Pakistan themselves will look foolish saying we want to play bilateral cricket, because they'll get panned by their people. That why do you want to play bilateral cricket? Because right now, the kind of noises coming out from there is we also don't want to play against India, right? That. And secondly, the handshake protocol also, after what has happened, they are also saying we also don't want to. It's a question of ego and thing, we also don't. So those demands I find rather strange, but I think they could be bargaining for Bangladesh, one, to show more about, see, we are a powerful nation, see, we can bring the cricketing world to a standstill, and we've helped Bangladesh, just to show the rest of the world. That's why they could be bargaining for Bangladesh, in a way helping themselves, because going forward this will, like, say, put a clause in place. If the government says no, then you don't have to travel. So if that clause is in place, right now it does seem like you're helping Bangladesh, but it will help them in the future as well with regards to 2031.
But talk me through this then. This whole thing that we touched upon just a few moments back about them wanting this narrative in their own country that, listen, we brought the cricketing world and the top body to a standstill, and they were worried about their commercials, which is why they had to come down to the negotiating table. If they're really not getting any of that for their own selves, and they know they're set to lose out as well because there were sanctions and everyone's gotten to know about those sanctions, then how is it that I spread that narrative in my own country?
No, that's what I'm saying. So the narrative will be this, that we asked for Bangladesh, we were standing by Bangladesh, these are the things that we asked for, these things are done, and so we are playing. Our core issue was Bangladesh, you were being unfair to Bangladesh.
And so we could not have demanded all of this. I'm just saying.
No, all of this was not on the table.
Yeah,
because you're not upset about yourself now.
So
that will be a different forum, a different time.
Exactly. So if we wanted to just be elder brothers, one, we expressed bonhomie by voting on the given day when the things went to vote. But instead of just asking things directly, as they could have been without all the drama, I chose the dramatic way.
Or the one scenario could be, whatever the options they've given, ICC would have said, no, we're not budging. You play, or sanctions are coming your way. And so they have gone now to their government that, okay, our demands haven't been met, but they've made us realize that so many sanctions are coming your way. And do we do a U-turn or still stick to our guns? That could be the third scenario, which you're not looking at.
That means then the boycott's on.
Could be, or because there's, again, I'm just giving an option.
Yeah.
Then most likely boycott is on, but it could also be a scenario where, they say, we'll play because we don't want to be hurt by those sanctions. That could be a thought process that they might have. I'll try and see you in 10-15 minutes.
But see, everything right now is just open to a lot of interpretation, because quite frankly, there is no, like, you're seeing wildly different things being reported. There's not even a hint of consensus, because whilst the Indian side of things is basically looking at it only from the Pakistan perspective, everything there is very much on the Pakistan perspective. From the other side, two things are definitely actually only in Bangladesh's favor. One is the ICC revenue from this World Cup, which, lest we forget, they're not part of. And the other is them ensuring that the bilateral series schedule, the white ball bilateral series between India and Bangladesh, goes forward. The only point which is their own is that they play all the 2031 games in Bangladesh.
Can I tell you one thing, Shane, that's missing in this graphic and what's missing in the reportage as well when I'm looking at now the Pakistani reportage?
Yeah.
That is, if you're wanting for a confirmation on the India-Bangladesh bilateral series, it's a bilateral.
Yeah, the ICC can't possibly be ratifying anything of that, sir.
Exactly. And where is the BCCI is mentioned in this? Because how is it in a meeting which has the PCB, the BCB and the ICC, there is no BCCI representative to be giving an approval for a series like this? So this then just further makes me question the reportage that's happening on both sides, perhaps, including, of course, I have my doubts about what's being reported in Pakistan as well. That's not.
No, I have doubts on both sides, because again, if I look at it from an objective perspective, I know that can be tough for a lot of people, because I think nowadays we're in an era where everything kind of gets reshared and aggregated to the nth degree, to the point where everything you read just ends up seeming to be true. But I'm looking at that and thinking, how much of it is really in it for them?
Yeah.
Not a lot. And if you're making a U-turn this big, either you're banking on some sort of a compounding of your growing influence. If you can pull off something like this and you show Bangladesh and that, look, we are looking out for you, or you hope that therefore there are other nations who might try and look to you as being some sort of this thing, which isn't entirely wrong, because you basically brought in the entire ICC T20 World Cup to a standstill. The matches may still be going on, but all people care about is when is it that they're going to announce their decision. That's that. Or it's just a case of them, I don't know, reporting something that seems a little off base. Because none of it is actually reading to me as being, what's in it for me? That's the thing that's always said. There's precious little in it for Pakistan right now. Precious little.
Yeah.
So if they really do make that U-turn, there has to be something massive, something which none of us will see coming.
The only thing, and again, this is then Pakistan thinking long term, extremely long term. Why? Because if the demands are exactly as we just showed our family members as well, if they are so much in favor, so much more Bangladesh interest specific, then I think you're trying to gain a partner, not just from a geopolitical point of view, but from a cricketing perspective as well. Of course, this goes into geopolitics as well. And if you're trying to corner India in Asia, then you will need more allies. You already have a strong ally in China. Let's not forget, that doesn't make problems worse for you in cricket, but geopolitically it does. And if I'm taking cricket forward, if I'm looking at being part of the cricketing ecosystem in Asia, if there is the Asia Cup as well that I need to look at for next year and the subsequent editions as well. Remember, the presidency is still with Pakistan as things stand. The change in presidency is still not happened. In that case, if I'm looking at resurrecting a new front, if I want a faction of my own, I will need allies then. How do I do that? I need to put I need to do enough for Bangladesh to be able to have a true ally in them. Bangladesh have had a history of India favoring them, of India getting them the test status, India giving them those matches as well. We've done those stories as well. But if I'm thinking extremely long term, and this is then beyond just 2031 Asia Cup or 2027 Asia Cup and the subsequent editions of it, then this makes sense that I do everything on the negotiating table that is more of interest to Bangladesh than of interest to me. Exactly. That is the only logic otherwise that I can think of.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying, right? Is that you're looking for a compounding of sorts of your growth as an influence, dare I say, that okay, look, we can get this done for you, so then you guys should come to us. Because previously this bloc, this Asia bloc as it were, India has always been the strongest ally of Bangladesh, as you rightly put it. it wasn't Pakistan. In fact, due to that political history, Pakistan never really featured that high on the people who would actually benefit Bangladesh in any way. Now, though, things have changed considering the recent history of complicated geopolitics that you are seeing play out in the subcontinent. All of that is basically just making for in Pakistan and Bangladesh becoming uneasy allies. And so maybe that could explain why it is. But otherwise, if you're looking at it, as I said, there's nothing there for them. It's all, look, Bangladesh, we're being big brothers to you guys. That's pretty much the extent of it. But again, that then brings us back to the original point, is that if that U-turn has to happen, and it seems likelier as we're all in agreement that the U-turn is exactly happening, what does that tell us about the sport in general? That's my big worry.
What worries me is how the the ICC, from there being reports that the ICC has clearly said that, listen, you cannot be throwing these tantrums and this is not the way to be taking the sport forward. Remember that press release as well, which talked about how there is the cricketing interest which comes first, the fact that you're looking at global presence of the sport and keeping the sport at the center of it all. All of those things were being mentioned in that press release or in that communique from the PCB, from the ICC to the PCB. However, when you now look at where the sport is, where there's one board that is virtually holding the top body hostage and can call for such meetings, I can't think of many sports in which you can throw a tantrum like this and there be these 11th hour meetings that take place as well, which exposes then the vulnerabilities of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly shaky, the foundations of our wonderful sport. Because if you're really that dependent on just an India-Pakistan match to ensure that ICC tournaments are money spinners, then you have to ask a lot of questions as to why it is that you've even allowed it to be reduced to this extent. Why is it that all of your tournaments are so reliant on only one match? How key is it really to it? Why is it that key? Have you made it that way? Are you exploiting geopolitical tensions and, of course, a historical rivalry, an organic historical rivalry of that to your benefit? And if you have, then you were always opening yourself up to something like this. Because let's be fair, if Pakistan have known how powerful this match is to ICC as a whole, it's not like India hasn't known this as well. It's why we could dig our heels in and say that hybrid is the way forward. And we got that hybrid model. Yeah. So, is it a worrisome sign for the sport? Because we always talk about it. And I'm seeing a lot of reactions on social media on how nice it is or how well it is that we're seeing some of the associate nations play. But on the same side of it, if the castle is built on a foundation of sand, then what good is the castle?
It's going to crumble.
It's going to crumble, and that's really worrisome. That for me is a bigger talking point that I don't think we're talking about enough right now, quite frankly, because I think it's a much bigger picture kind of a thing. But it is very worrisome.
This though is we've been talking about teams getting wake-up calls, I think, but that's to do with the cricketing reasons. As far as this non-cricketing reason that has occupied so much of our time and our mind space, I'd say that, this has been a wake-up call, this whole drama for the ICC as well. First things first, I don't think now they're really looking at selling media rights going forward with the guarantee of an India-Pakistan match in the group stages. If this is the drama, this drama brings you bad repute as well. This brings you bad reputation. This is not a good advertisement of the sport. This also for an advertiser with so much drama. Do I really want my name on a tournament or to be advertising in a tournament? That too for one match, which may not happen or will come with so much of drama. I'm not too sure. See, till now, it can't be ruled out. Is there anyone out there who can bet their bottom dollar and say that the boycott is definitely happening? Nobody can really say that. But as a matter of fact, it can happen. It can happen, right? And it can't happen as well. So there are both sides to it. And when you come with such uncertainty, even if there's a 1% chance of a boycott, do as an advertiser want to pay hundreds and thousands of crores, knowing that there is so much about the whole tournament that the revenue of it relies on just that 1 or 2 matches, and then I'm taking that huge risk which could nullify it all.
That's the thing. And see, we can say that, previously the ICC had put out that release which was strongly worded, and they said you have to look at the sporting sanctity and ensure that it's a level playing field, and you have to focus on the sport. Basically, it was them saying, don't hold us hostage, think about the sport. However, the fact of the matter is, and this is where optics are important, the ICC have sent a top representative to negotiate this to Pakistan. It's not even a case of Pakistan coming to the ICC offices and saying,
Dubai.
listen, guys, let's do something of this sort and let's try and work this out. What it shows, at least from an optics perspective, is that the ICC are as keen now to make it go forward. Yes, I do think that Pakistan also have realized that perhaps if they actually decide that hell with it, we're going to boycott, then they're going to be hit with the book to the full extent of every single letter that's printed. But why is it then that the ICC is actually having to take so much of a proactive step to fix a problem that they didn't actually even cause? This is, I mean, again, it will always go back to sports beyond. And I know a lot of people have in the past said, oh, you shouldn't use the example of FIFA. They're very corrupt. I agree. FIFA is one of the most corrupt sporting bodies in the world. The IOC are not that much better, despite the fact that whilst there hasn't been obvious corruption in that sense, there's been a lot of mangling. There's been a lot of bad governance decisions that have hampered the sport in that regard too. But can you imagine an Olympics being held hostage by one country like this? You cannot. Chance. I cannot for the life of me also imagine a FIFA World Cup being held in this thing like this. I cannot. If, say, for instance, tomorrow there are political tensions, God forbid, between, say, Brazil and Argentina, just as an example, they are also, there's a big rivalry sporting-wise that goes on there. Also, neighbors technically from the same continent. Yeah. Can you imagine them going to FIFA and saying, FIFA will say, if you don't want to play, boss, then don't play. Yeah. Simple as. But you're never going to see that happen with this sport because you're just so reliant on the money of an India-Pakistan match that you've now, in fact...
What's been the sad part about is when you look at how the sports struggled, I think the game, when you were trying to take it to different corners, you also saw the advent of the T20. And from a time where you were wanting associates to start playing test format, start playing, play more and more ODI format, then you introduced T20 cricket, which the world and the commercial aspect of it as well, for them to fully get into the plumb being that they are right now, it took a good 5-7 year duration, right? Then the IPL got big and suddenly priorities changed. So we're talking essentially it's from 2005-06 when it was piloted, or 2004-05 when the first T20I pilot game was played, to then the IPL happening and other leagues popping up and all. Took a full decade for things to burgeon, for things to spread, and then they spread like wildfire. And now you suddenly realize, okay, while we were trying to build a whole cricketing community that should be playing test cricket and ODI cricket, then there's this new beast that's come up. And now we've got to be telling them to, change everything that you've learned and start playing this now. Where is the interest then? And how is it that... getting professional teams together is one thing, but for there to be resonance with the locals, it takes time. It happens over and over decades. It happens organically. This is not something, it's not a chemical reaction. It is not something that can happen overnight. And this is where I think ICC, little to do with the way they planned things, but just the way T20 cricket's completely changed things. And the first 2 days of the tournament were very good advertisement of T20 cricket and of the sport. But you've gotten to realize, yes, Nepal has potential. You've gotten to realize, Scotland, you've been seeing this whole while. But see, Italy is far behind right now. Italy does need more work. But what do you do now? Can you really bank on an Italy and a Nepal as things stand? If you were to look beyond a Pakistan and a Bangladesh for political uncertainties, especially let's say in a nation like Pakistan, much more than Bangladesh, if you want to sideline, do I have other alternatives? Do I have more eyeballs? I can't. I don't have those eyeballs right now in Nepal. Maybe I will get, but am I guaranteed elite level competition? One match is a good advertisement, but can I expect a good 3-match series? And is one good 3-match series going to be enough for me to be replacing Pakistan on the FTP? Can't do that either.
It's not happening. And that's really where I think you're at a crossroads, because the gap between the haves and have-nots, members and associates in the sport, are so massive that you can't possibly even for 1 second think of actually doing away with your members. The members are the key. And that's of course a very cricketing problem, but that also is why it's not only the members that is key, but as we've realized, some members hold more importance than others, even if not from a sporting perspective, definitely from a financial perspective. And that's the really messed up part. We can take a few comments, see what it is our family members are having to say. You got Vibhor Shahi saying enough drama, just say and move on. No, I think if they do move on, which seems very likely, it's going to be in terms which favor them. That's what is really interesting. I think that's Chirag. Yeah. He says that Mumbai lost and Nikhil had predicted that they will be winning talents to watch out. Samyan, Vidyadhar, Vidwal, future India player. Few words on Akib. Yeah, Akib was phenomenal.
Yeah, 7-4 did he take?
Yes.
It looked very, very good. Also, I think aided with that green pitch that we saw. But even then, very good control, was really getting the ball to move around and was setting players up. Venki Iyer had absolutely no idea the way that he played him that day. So, yeah.
Then you've got Laga, I don't quite know, from the US of A, saying that I'm sorry, but cricket shouldn't be played at ransom. If blackmail is the PCB's MO, ICC should set an example and take the hit. BCCI has enough quality and so on. See, I agree with you in theory. And if I do think that if the ICC took a strong stance, it would then set a very strong precedent going forward. Do I see that happening? No. I don't. You can't possibly sending one of your top members to Pakistan.
Exactly. And this is again the point that I was making. It's because you have 2 less full member nations. Just 2 less full member nations. And very less or even lesser, I would say, knocking at the doors asking for a full membership.
Yeah, I mean, who were the last 2 full members you inducted? Ireland and Afghanistan. That's 8. And with Afghanistan, whilst you've seen some growth in the sport, Ireland, I don't think you've seen that much. You barely have full member nations actually play them. Whether it be in tests, even the tests they do play, I think the last test they played was against England. Which was a 4-day test, so it doesn't even count in anything. I'm just saying, the way they are treated is also a reflection. I think, in fact, I dare say, I think Afghanistan and Ireland play more test series between each other than they do with pretty much anyone else. So that in itself tells you just how even full membership is not a guarantee of anything. You've got, I can't quite
Can't exactly. Pawan, can you just hover the thing around that super so we get to know?
Can actually get a full name. I mean, there's no quite way to get the name. This is very irritating, by the way, this change that YouTube has made. No.
Okay, sorry, we can't really figure out who you are, but we'll take the question nonetheless.
It says, what a waste of time. Since the last 1 month, you guys are discussing about one bully and another undisciplined member. A bully gets disciplined only by another bully. Enough is enough. ICC should move on. This seems to be a consensus, really, I would say, among a lot of people that, listen, you should possibly try and move on and set a strong precedent. I would have been good with that if you would have done it. Because, as I said, I think if you would have set the precedent now, it would have actually ensured that no one tries such shenanigans in the future. You did see them do it with Bangladesh, even though they were conciliatory in their approach. Eventually, they said, no, enough is enough. You don't want to travel, you get replaced. Wow. They're not doing it with Pakistan, though. They're not. And the fact is that just shows you that there is a modicum of power that exists there that would not be accessible to a Bangladesh or a Zimbabwe or a Netherlands, Nepal and the likes. Agreed. It's just not.
Agreed.
And you just know that.
That's a
very political comment from
that's a
Rajat
very
Agarwal,
political comment. It's
which I will not take, but point well taken.
Yeah.
It's too political for us to even think of possibly taking that. No, not going
there. There's also a sister channel in Global Today. That is where these questions can be answered.
Lazy Lad DP says, to be honest, with all of the off-field issues, I don't even care about this World Cup. I can understand that feeling. But actually, if you watch some of the games that are being played so far, I've been really enjoying the contest. I do think you've been seeing some good cricket. So in that sense, I don't think it's fair to tar the entire tournament with just the brush of this rather unfortunate drama. And not just this, I mean, it's an extension of the Bangladesh thing. So if you guys feel tired of hearing about it, imagine our state. We're covering this on a day and night basis. At this point in time, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, PCB are just part of my everyday lexicon.
Yeah, it's part of our job. See, that's the thing. It's part of our job. We can't afford to move away from these developments. Do we like this in the first place? We don't. We're here for actual sporting action. But as a matter of fact, we've got to do it because this concerns the sport. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got some more comments again. Let's see. Anshu Mishra is saying that we're already predicted that they'll not boycott and explained in 4 steps, and the same script is playing out. Also, I had told Priyanshu that they would play it. Well done. I think you saw it better than we did in that case. Because I, for one, did not anticipate a boycott U-turn taking place. But that's exactly where we're heading right now.
Yeah.
Scroll some more.
But since Nikhil's back after a brief departure, do we have news? I'm guessing you were there for the thing.
No.
No update?
No news as well. This news is the same. The only latest news I have is that that meeting has not happened between Shehbaz Sharif and Mohsin Naqvi. It's scheduled to happen today, but Mohsin Naqvi is at a PSL function where some Multan Sultan auction is happening or something like that. And Shehbaz Sharif is in Islamabad.
Ooh.
So, but that's not to say they can't have a meeting. It can be a phone call as well. Or there may not be any meeting at all, considering Mohsin Naqvi can take a call himself. Mohsin Naqvi, the Home Minister, can decide based on the request by Mohsin Naqvi, the PCB chief.
And the ACC chief.
And the
Not that
ACC
it counts
chief.
for anything here.
And then he will announce it. So, again, the latest news that sister channel Aaj Tak is running is that it's almost confirmed that India-Pakistan is happening. But, almost is, I can't really say that it is confirmed it's happening, but it is looking increasingly possible that the match will happen. And if the match will happen, I go back to the point, in fact, I was doing a show and that's why I left, that Sanaullah, who's a Pakistani journalist, was on that show. And he said that, see, if the U-turn happens, then it clearly cannot be on the basis of what you guys in India are claiming, that these were their demands and they were not met and they will do a U-turn. Firstly, he objected to the word U-turn, saying that, Pakistan never said that we can't turn it around. Their demand was that what you're doing to Bangladesh is unfair. Till such time you course correct, we're not going to play. And if the course correction has happened, let's say in these dialogue, then if they play, then what's the point? Then you should not call it U-turn. That's his opinion. Okay, just telling you because I was on the show with a Pakistani journalist, quite a senior guy there, and then went on to say that if Pakistan does agree to play that game, they would have gotten their pound of the flesh as well. So, yeah. Which is, I think, it's not surprising. I mean, you and I also...
Quid pro quo.
You and I also said. See, again, Pakistan are in a state which we were discussing off camera where they are like, I don't care, whatever might happen, we are going down with the ship. You are only very careful of those financial losses if you care for it. I think they were in a state where they said, what is that share? Hum to doobe hai sanam.
Hum to doobe hai sanam, tumhe bhi
doobe. Something like that. So they were in that mindset. Now for them to change their mind, something would have to be given by the ICC. No? Otherwise, why will they do that? Now, again, there are so many demands that have been put forward in our video.
I think the poor cricketing standards have acted as an enabler for such an attitude. Yeah, I'm not trying to mock them.
No,
because
right.
You're willing to take the ship down only because you really have nothing to stand on at the moment. If they were the number one team going into the tournament, would it then have looked good on them to be throwing around these antiques? Absolutely not. And would they then be risking all these monetary losses? No.
It's not just poor cricketing standards. It's also the the oxymoron of poor cricketing standards but high, let's say, commercial standards. India, Pakistan, it's in India, Pakistan or Pakistan. They know that. So it doesn't matter how good or bad they play. In the end of the day, it's all about the money, honey. That's what they're doing. They've held the transom for that reason. Simple as. Brian Lara asks, after all this drama/chaos, will the ICC still put India and Pakistan in the same group in future ICC tournaments? ICC should promote India-Australia as the greatest rivalry to counter this exploitation. Till when does the current contract run? Between the broadcasters
7, I believe. 27, I think.
So it's not changing for the next World Cup for sure. The ODI World Cup, which will take place next year. Maybe after that, I don't know. Maybe they feel it's not worth it. Or they'll manufacture in such a way that they meet only in the knockouts. It's entirely possible. There's not that many teams.
Then T20 cricket, you need major uplifting to happen. Only then will it be possible.
I'd say the same for ODI cricket and Test cricket. In
Test
ODI, in ODI cricket, it's not a competition. When is the last time they came close to giving you a fight? 2011 maybe?
That's also true.
15 was one-sided. 17, okay, you can say they beat you in the Champions Trophy final thanks to a bad half hour again. Beyond that, in the group stage, you hammered them. 2019, you hammered them in the group stage. 2023, you hammered them in the group stage. In ODIs, it's not really much of a competition. It's not. Hasn't been for quite a while. Tests, let's not even go there.
Yeah.
That's also just as bad.
Yeah.
Let's take some more comments. Akshay Badka says it's a bit of a strange decision from management and that can cost us this World Cup. Why? Because Rinku Singh was a known finisher and Akshay should have come in to bat at 6 in the game against USA. In fact, 5. Brainless tactical decision.
Well, 5's got to be for either a Dubey or a Hardik.
Exactly.
Simple as that. 5, 6 have to be those guys. 7 for Rinku, I believe, is a good sweet spot to be in. 8 is too late. But the only thing is, 8 you get a good batter in Aksar. 7 just feels like the number for Rinku Singh. Just the right time as well to unleash him.
That part I do agree with. If you had to make that change, you didn't need to
also,
send him there.
we say that about, I know Rinku can also do that, but when we talk about the top 5 of this Indian team, there's only 2 players in a Tilak and a Hardik, we say. 5, ideally we've seen Hardik play, who know how to shift gears. When you put Rinku in a place like that, yes, he can, as he has done in other formats as well, which people tend to forget. But why have him do that here when there is already a specialized role for him reserved?
And no one else can do his role. He might be able to do other people's role. I don't think anyone else can finish.
Yeah.
That's fair. Anshu Mishra points out, how is it that the ICC managed to put Afghanistan, New Zealand and South Africa into the same group? Only 2 can qualify for Super 8 now. If all of them were in other groups, all 3 would have qualified for Super 8s. SA should be in SL group and SL in this. Actually, see, the reason New Zealand, Afghanistan, SA are there because technically, all of them can actually have that because none of them have won the trophy. That's why. I think what the way the draft has been done is that there are 2 trophy holders in each of the groups.
Okay.
Each of the groups pretty much has 2 trophy holders, or at least those who have some kind of a pedigree.
Yeah.
So in that sense, none of these guys have won the trophy. So they kind of fall victim to being a little bit in that sense. Yeah. You've got Nitish Sharma once again highlighting something similar, saying shouldn't there be strict action against Pakistan for refusing in such a short manner? There should be some repercussions. We say BCCI is the major bread bringer, but still, why do we say nothing to Pakistan?
I think for now, yes, it's the ICC that has to do all the talking.
Exactly.
At some point, you need to draw the line because the sport's just going to the dogs otherwise.
No, see, I mean, just to elaborate on that, Nitin, there is still a possibility that action can be taken. I'm just saying that at the moment, there is no confirmation that Pakistan have done the U-turn. As we have been reporting, in all likelihood, they are going to change their mind, right? But now, once they change the mind and they play, then ICC may not take any action against them because then the game goes on, as planned. Then how do you take any action when the game is, yes, if the game doesn't happen, then that calls for action. How do you do that? But I think this will also be a issue for ICC to sort out. I don't think ICC have covered themselves in glory with the kind of things are happening, and I think this has all happened because how ICC has been conducting itself for the last few years. It's a free house now. Everyone is demanding, doing anything, and holding the game hostage because of their choices and their demands. I don't think that it can carry on like this. So it's a good realization for the ICC as well, right? I've said in the past, you forget about losses and things like that. Don't rely 100% on India Pakistan. Just make this tournament like that no team can hold the tournament hostage. You have to fix your issues, and I think that's where they've been found wanting in the meanwhile. Okay, I've got to run again.
NetLife says that why are we as Indians dying to play Pakistan? Why is there no go to hell attitude from our side? Is Pakistan or money so important? Please reply.
I don't think this is the money factor here which is coming into play.
Also, where is the desperation? I want to know.
Exactly.
What is it that Surya Kumar Yadav said when that question was asked to him? Our flights are booked, we're going to be going. If they come, we'll play. If they don't come, we don't play.
That's how tournaments work. I don't think this is a money thing.
Also, if this is about us, let's say giving the amount of airtime that we're giving to story, which is a story which is developing, then I think it's our job. It's our job to tell you guys exactly what's happening on the ground. We try our level best to get that information. There's so many calls that we need to make. There's so many things we need to process, multiple layers, multiple discussions, and yeah, this is when there are historical arch rivals, that we're talking about, then it does deserve that kind of time and attention.
Also remember, if the money at this side of things isn't important to India, it's important to the ICC. There is no monetary gain that India has from this match that will outdo what it is that they make from a domestic standpoint. Simple as that. There is no money that they can make or they can make from this match which they'll not be able to remake 10 times over from their own domestic. India's majority money comes from IPL and bilateral cricket media rights, in that order. We don't need this. The ones who are desperate are the ICC.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
That part also we need to make fully clear. Anyhow, we've shared our thoughts with you guys, taken some of yours as well. You can let us know more thoughts in the comments below. And of course, apologies if we couldn't take your comments, but because there's a lot of them, we can't always take them all. But thank you from Harshit, me, and Nikhil, who's not here right now, but we'd be thankful too. For joining us in this edition of the Live Dugout, another one for the books. And as always, if you enjoy our work, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, follow us on social media. Harshit, take it away.
Good night, Nandri, Shubh Ratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables. Back to you, Shane.
Don't trouble your mother and subscribe to Sports Today.
Bye.